teacher and the Shruti go hand in hand. Because this knowledge is not gained apne aap by itself. Pujya Swamiji used to say, if anybody says to you, we have gained the knowledge by ourselves, you just tell them one thing. What to tell them? You tell them, Namaha. Namaha means good for you. Good for you. If you want to say good for you in Sanskritam, you say Namaha, good for you. Please keep it safely, this knowledge with you. Don't give it to us. That's what you have to tell. Because this knowledge is all about history. When there is history, there is no mystery, really. If there is no history, there is mystery. This is what happens to all the what is that, religions and religious cults and all these things which have a founder. If there is a founder, then what happens? Then whatever the founder says is correct. And if the founder, after the founder goes away, the followers flounder. This is what happens. Very small difference between founder and flounder. Flounder means, what did they say? Did they say this or did they say that? We don't know. Like this, lot of vagueness will be there. Come closer, sit there. Come. Yeah, fan, acha, acha, pankha. So then we have that is why we have this parampara. So the Upadesha is that which is received and then it is given. Samipe sthitva, staying near. And then what? Dish, to teach. Dish with a particular suffix, ghan suffix becomes deshaha. So, sitting near that which is given in an unending line from teacher to student. Student who studies and then becomes what? Teacher. And then who imparts to the further generations. This is what is called Upadesh. And this Upadesha is unbroken line. That is why it is called Sampradaya. Samyak diyate. Samyak prakarshena diyate sampradaya. This is what is called sampradaya. This is given, it is received, and then as a token of gratitude to the gurus, to the lineage, I share it once I am capable of being let loose to the world by the teacher. I am sharing it with others. And then the others also pick it up and then they share it further. But how do you know it's an unbroken line? It could be broken somewhere. They say one rotten apple spoils the whole bunch, correct? If one rotten fruit is there and all the other fruits it is kept with, the whole bunch gets spoiled. We can say that. So then maybe one guru was little whatever. We can say that. Possible. One guru did not get the knowledge. One guru did not have all the things that was there, did not do enough shravanam, did not have enough titiksha, forbearance, did not have shama dama, did not have shraddha, we can say. But this knowledge is so pure, so holy, so beautiful that it does not depend on the individual at all. One individual's transgression, possible. We are not denying that. There may be one rotten apple, possible. Maybe somebody, somewhere, there is a truti. Truti means there is a dropping. We don't say that, but for the people who are questioning this is something to understand. We don't say that there is truti, but to give the benefit of doubt, if there is a slippage by one person, the parampara is intact. Why? Because it does not matter about the individual who is teaching it. It's not concerned about the individual. This is not teacher-centric knowledge. This is lineage-centric knowledge. So one person going a little astray or something does not in any way tell upon the parampara. Why? Because that which is the teaching is immediately verifiable by everybody, even by you right now. All I have to do is ask a simple question. Are you here? Yeah, thank God you did not scare me and immediately answered. Are you here means what? Yes. There's no other answer you can give. Unless you are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi in the class itself, there's no other answer to give other than to say what? A resounding yes. On this depends on the whole knowledge. The whole self-knowledge is standing on the ground of this one simple question. Are you here? Am I here? What to say? Yes. In Sanskrit. Yes. When you say yes, what is that is so resounding? What is that is without doubt? What is that is ever present? Any other question I ask, you have to ask somebody. As Pujya Swamiji used to say, "Puch ke bataunga." I will ask and then let you know. Everything. Pujya Swamiji used to say, anything I ask this person, they will say, I have to talk to the significant other. Why? Because if you don't talk to the significant other, the word significant will be dropped. It will be only other. So you have to ask everything. You have to ask permission. Shall I go here? Shall I go there? Shall I attend the retreat? Shall I give the donation? Shall I call the Swami for bhiksha? Everything you have to ask the significant other, except this one question is a wonderful exception. What is the question? Show me one sign of life. What is the question? Are you here? Am I? That one question does not require any ratification. Immediately something other than this body, mind, sense complex, which is perishable, which is finite, which we already know. Other than that, something seems to answer a resounding yes, I am here. The nature of this I, everybody knows even without Vedanta. You don't need Vedanta. Vedanta just gives you fancy words. Sat Chit Ananda, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Vedanta just gives you fancy words that you can use in your parties and show that you have gone to Mauritius retreat. That's all. You will be well equipped. You will impress your friends. That is a very nice thing. Vedanta will give you fancy words. But you already know. What do I want to be? If you ask, what will you say? I want to be happy. I want to be secure. I want to be free from what doesn't matter. The answer will differ. But the common thing is what? I want to be free. I want to be secure. I want to be happy. I want to be free means what? I want to be free of you. Okay, that is the first answer. If you are not there, my Jagat, my world is eminently more interesting, eminently more bearable. Okay, that is that person's concept of freedom, moksha. I want to be free. I want to be free of you. I want to be free of you means what? The you will keep changing. If you are not there, somebody else will come. Then I want to be free of the new you and the new you. That's what it is. And the new you will keep coming, and you want to be free of you. I want to be free of you. This will continue until I make a U-turn. U-turn is what? You have to turn back to yourself. This is what it is. This is what Vedanta is. This is what Upadesha is. This is what the teaching is. It is nothing new. You already know. What is it that you know? You know that you want to be free. And the freedom seems to center where the I is, because The bondage, the so-called opposite of freedom is what? Bondage. The bondage is centered on the I, so to speak. So therefore, the freedom is centered where? Aham, I. That I am bound is something to interrogate. That I am free is common knowledge, really. Even the most complaining jiva, jiva means simply in Sanskrit jiva, and in English, the one who complains is jiva. Okay? Yeah. Even the most complaining jiva, individual, jaded, faded jiva, the individual who is completely gone case, full of complaints. This is not okay, that is this one. Okay? Always complain. We all know people like that in our lives, don't we? Yes. Sometimes we are like the person in our lives. That is why we recognize when somebody else like that comes into our lives. Somewhere deep down there is a recognition, because then suddenly the jnanodaya, the rise of knowledge takes place. What? Oh my God, it's me. This is me sometimes. This is definitely me. So like this, this is something which is to understand. So then there seems to be a disconnect from the daily grind of this jiva that is reproducing itself every day. And how is it reproducing itself? The complaints are the medium through which it reproduces itself. Pujya Swamiji used to use a wonderful word, ninja. Ninja means offensive and defensive. Don't come near me. Ah, here is my threshold. Threshold means it's very high threshold. Yeah. Everything. Don't come near me. And everybody just has to walk on eggshells around this fellow. And then what? And then the person says, I'm lonely. Yes, of course you're lonely. You have built yourself a fortress of complaints. Laid each brick of complaint with the mortar of tears and fears. And then what? It is mortifying after all. After this, what else will be there? That is all it is. So many complaints, so little time. This is the Jiva's lot. This is the daily grind. This seems to be the lived experience of every single being on the earth. This is the lived experience. This is what is going on. Now, what do we need to do? Here there are chairs. Come here. So, what do we need to do? Because there is a big and a terrible discrepancy. I know somewhere that I am supposed to be happy. I know that. Happiness is myself, I know that. Like a great musician who has to perform, but then unfortunately, on the night of the concert, came down with a terrible cold, and the voice was not in the full range. They gave him lots of medicines. This is a true story. This is a great singer. Ustad Ali Khan, his name was. Great singer. Came down with a cold on the night of the concert. Of course, you can't disappoint 1,000 people who have come to the concert. They gave him lots of medicines. It helped, but not as much as he would have liked. There are three ranges in the whole Hindustani music. There is mandra, low, madhyama, medium, and taraka, high. In India, all Indian music, Carnatic music also is there, and then it's there also in the Hindustani music. He could not reach the high note at all because of the cold. So when the time came in the song to reach the high note, he chose to go with the low note because he could not go there, but he pointed. It is there somewhere. I can't seem to pick it up and pluck it and bring it to my throat. But please understand, I know it is there, and you know that I know that it is there. Same is the situation with knowing that my nature is totally free of complaints. I know it is there. It is somewhere there, but I can't seem to reach it because of what? Fear, pain, sorrow, complaints. So between the non-complaining one and the complaining one, the antara, the distance appears to be huge. It appears to be a quantum leap. But thank God it's only an appearance. What is the truth? The truth is that it's the same body mind sense complex that is experiencing the complaints, and it's the same body mind complex which is experiencing the happiness. So, how can they be so far? They are not really that far. This is the Upadesha. This is what the teaching is. And then the uh, the two seemingly difficult or different experiences, opposite experiences, have to be somehow brought together. How is this possible? How can I be a complaining being and a non-complaining being at the same time? Is it possible? Say no, so we can move on. Yeah. Not possible. How can the same person be a complaining person and a non-complaining person at the same time? It is not possible at all. Not at all possible. But yet, that is how the experience is. Kabhi, kabhi, complaining. Sometimes complaining. Kabhi, kabhi, what? Non-complaining. It's a mess. But it's completely opposite. How can these two oppositional natures reside in the single person, Yugapat, at the same time? It's just not possible. How can the person who feels secure, compassionate, giving, kind, be at the same time a ninja, offensive, defensive? No, I'm not giving, get away from me. Who are you? Why are you here? How can the two coexist? Seems like a very big mystery. But that's why we take recourse to the parampara when we take Sharanagati, or when we completely give ourselves over to the parampara. What happens? We see an important detail. We see that it is not a mystery at all. It's a mystery only if we are trying to see how, at the same time, the happy person can coexist with the sad person, the secure person can coexist with the fearless person, and the querulous, complaining person can coexist simply with a non complaining or a contented person. The problem that we are doing is we are taking both to be equally true. We are taking both to be equally true. The secret here is they are not equally true. They cannot be equally true. You cannot be broken and whole at the same time. That doesn't make any sense at all. So then what is true? One of them must be false. Correct? One of them must be asat. The other one must be sat. Which one is sat? Which one is true? Hmm? Yeah, that's because you've been attending too many Vedanta classes. And you'll know the right answer even if you don't believe it secretly. You will still say the right answer. So, which is true? How to tell which is true? Sometimes one will think, no, this must be true. I am the complaining person after all. I am limited. Every which way you look, sounds like Deepavali. Every which way you look at it, I feel limited. I am finite. I'm not fine. Why? Because I'm finite. Every which way. Height wise, what? I wish I was taller. Weight wise, never okay. Age wise, I wish I was younger or older. If you ask a small child, I want to grow up, I want to grow up, I want to be a grown up. You ask a grown up, you only get a groan. Okay. Yeah. And then family wise, yeah, okay. ठीक है, चलता है. This becomes our word. Chalta hai in Hindi means somehow it's going. I'm not leading life. It is leading me. It is leading me. I'm not leading the life. It is leading me. Somehow it's going. Going. Financially, of course, I'm finite. Bank balance is never high enough. I don't know how much I need for retirement. And I don't know how I'm going to get it. Every which way you look at it, one finds oneself limited. Yet there is a yearning to be limitless. The yearning is called mumukshuta. This yearning is called mumuksha or mumukshuta. Mumuksha means the desire to be free. Now we can say of what? Of this finitude. The desire to be totally free of this finitude, of this limitedness is mumuksha. And the one who has this desire is mumukshu. Mumukshu is the one who has this desire. Mumuksha is the desire itself. Think of all the desires you have. Oh, I want to go here. I want to go there. I want to see each and every inch of Mauritius because who knows when I will and if I will ever come back again. Tell me when is the free time. Let me just go away. Let me just see this, see that, go here, go there. And then what else? The desire to have friends, the desire to be acceptable, the desire to be approvable. I want to be approvable. I want everybody to approve of me. Everyone should approve of me. Everyone should approve of me. Now and forever. Nobody should criticize me. That is a desire, a very big desire. Most of the things done are for self-approval alone. Think of all the desires you have, the whole gamut of desires. And then when you look into the desire, you see that all these desires resolve into one. What is that? I want to be happy. I want to be free of complaints. This is what we are faced with. Every desire resolves into the desire for moksha, to be free. So all these desires plus the desire for moksha, this is how we think. We say that the desire for moksha is along with the other desires. That means what? Time for moksha never comes. You tell people, come to the retreat. No, I have other things to do, places to go, people to see. And sometimes people will be very honest and say, my calling hasn't come. Who is going to call? Who is going to call? No, Bhagavan should call. Why will Bhagavan call? Bhagavan doesn't have any other thing to do or what? No, Bhagavan should call. Guru should come and drop in front of me. Then I will go and this thing. If Guru hasn't come, then I will not go. Why should I? Guru has to call me. My calling, mera bulawa nahi aaya hai. You know, my calling hasn't come. This is nonsense. This is okay for some high school dance. I want to be chosen. And you sit in the corner waiting for the partner to come choose you. This is not some high school dance. Cha, cha, cha. Crazy. People are crazy. In every other place, you will do everything to get what you want. But this is the most important desire. You say, somebody has to come. What is wrong with the people? I don't know. Somebody has to come. Somebody has to tell me. Somebody has to pursue, help me pursue this. Nobody will. The desire is who? The desire doesn't belong to me, right? The desire belongs to who? You. So one person came and told me this, my calling hasn't come. I just go by whatever, wherever I am led. I said, fair enough. I will accept your argument. No problem, sir. I'll accept your argument. Provided you have the same philosophy and the same attitude towards lunch. Yeah. Lunch also, you should say, my calling hasn't come. If I'm supposed to eat, let me eat. I'll just sit in one place, be a sadhu. Sit in one place. Ajagara vritti, it's called. The boa constrictor lifestyle. Okay. Anaconda lifestyle. What does it do? It sits. And crocodile lifestyle also. It just sits. The crocodile looks dead. It has a ability to mask its aliveness in the eyes. It just looks like that. Half the animal, half of the blessed animal is teeth. Okay. Yeah. So it's like this. Anything that comes. Swaha. Right? Yeah. Be like that. If nothing comes, okay. Nothing comes, okay. The what is that called? Boa constrictor. The ajagara will not will not deter from its lifestyle. It will just be like that. So if you have the same attitude towards your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I say, fine, no problem. I will accept your argument. But if you are pursuing every other thing with avid interest, effort, and only here you are saying my calling hasn't come, then there is something gadbad is there. Gadbad means fishy. Something is very fishy here. Calling won't come. Because you are, because the person has what is called, what Pujya Swamiji used to refer to as spiritual romanticism. This is what is spiritual romanticism. That's why I likened it to high school dance, college dance. Somebody should choose me. Somebody should do this. Guru should choose me. Look at every Upanishad. Does the guru look for students? No. Students come to the teacher, not the other way around. Students come to the teacher. The teacher does not go looking for students. If anybody comes and says, please be my chela, just say, Namaha, thank you. Run away from there as soon as you can. Because this is opposite of what is supposed to happen. So therefore, moksha is not one of the pursuits in life. What is it? It is the only pursuit. There's no other pursuit. There's nothing more than moksha. It's all that. Once I have this freedom from what? Being a desiring, wanting person. Once I have this freedom, then nothing else matters. I can engage freely in life and be myself. I don't need anything else at all. If I don't have this freedom, I can look at all the 7 continents, go everywhere, do everything, but then I will not be contented. I will not be satisfied. I will still be wanting, 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 wanting. Either you address each and every want. That is one possibility. Is how has that gone for you? Let me ask you a question. How has addressing each and every want and trying to fulfill each and every desire, how has that gone for you so far? Of course, the unanimous answer has to be not very well. That's why I'm here. That should be the, that's why I'm here. Because if I try to each desire, if I try to fulfill, I will just have gray hair. Yeah, there goes the desire to not have gray hair because it has already come. Each and every desire, if I try to fulfill, I will just grow old and feeble. Angam galitam, palitam mundam, dashana vihinam, jatam tundam. Vriddho yati grihitva dandam tadapi na munchati asha pindam. Elsewhere it is said, Bhajagovindam, it is said. So, Angam Galitam, bone density has reduced. Okay. Yeah. Osteoporosis has set in, means age has happened. Palitam Mundam means the head, you have to look for the with a microscope for even one hair. Completely bald. Yeah. Okay. Then Dashana Vihinam means if there are teeth in the mouth, they are definitely the removable type. Yeah. Okay. No teeth. All right. If there are teeth, they're definitely artificial teeth, like the hips, like the knees, like any body part that can be replaced has already been replaced. Then here is an elderly person going around with a stick. All right. And one would think that by this time one is done with desires, because one has taken sannyasa from teeth, one has taken sannyasa from what, hair, one has taken sannyasa from knees, the original knees. Okay, now there are what, plastic knees, or what is that, steel knees, all these things. One has taken sannyasa from the original hips, now those are also replaced. Now what, so one would think one has taken sannyasa from all desires also by this time. One is old, and along with old what goes what? Wise. Old and wise, elderly and wise. One would think. But what is the reality? Tadapi, even then, namunchati. One is not free from this big potli. Potli means like a sack, like a huge sack of potatoes that is hard to carry. This kind of a big sack of desires still is there in the person. If one does not take recourse to this knowledge, it is still there in the person. Tadapina munchati asha pindam. Pinda means huge sack of desires. One is dragging around. And then at least in the West, they say there is only one life. That's why they will make one list called bucket list. Before I kick the bucket means die. You know, euphemistic way of saying die. Before I die, I have all these desires to fulfill. When one ex-president was there, he is no more in the body, uh, George H.W. Bush, he was there. And then on his 85th birthday, he said, I want to go, what is that? Paragliding or something like that. So they took him in a plane and everything and all this. And then after that, they put him on the ground. He got chakkar and collapsed. And hurriedly, the press was there because this is a big event. 85-year-old president for his birthday is going parasailing, paragliding, whatever. Yeah. But along with the press, which was hurriedly sent away, there was also at the doctors and medics were there. Ambulance had been already called by the devotees, and they took him away for inspection and for stabilization. This is what I mean. Bucket list. Before I die, I have to finish all these things. This is what is called bucket list. Hindus should never make a bucket list. Why? Because we say better luck next time. No problem. For us, there is no problem. And in fact, at the Shraddha, at the funerary ceremonies, we say, you know, all the survivors say, I may not have been a good daughter to you. I may not have been a good spouse to you. I may not have been a good son to you. Better luck next time. Next time, may all your wishes be fulfilled. We send them off, you know, with these kinds of wishes. Acha hai, it is very good. But still, it's not a solution, because the next life, you come back with excess baggage for free. This is the only place where the Sukshma airlines, called the Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body does not charge for excess baggage. If you say, oh, as you leave the body, if you say, I want to take this one more bag of desire, how much will it cost? Nothing, free. Free mein jao. One more suitcase of desire, no problem. Bring it on. No problem at all. Free, 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 free. Then what? Then the same thing starts all over again. So therefore, I have to end this here and now. This is where the question comes, the problem comes. Even for the people who are very, 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 very skilled, very, very, very knowledgeable, very, very, very internally pure of all the likes and dislikes and everything. Even for them, it is confusing what to talk for us. We begin the Upadesha-Saram with a beautiful story of Darukavana, a forest where all the sages there, the kind of exalted sages I'm talking about, were sitting there and doing penance, tapas. They were all doing tapas. Why? Because they were all mumukshus. They also wanted freedom from this sense of want, from this relentless complaints, from this relentless disease of self-judgment, self-critique. They also wanted that. But they were confused. They did not know how to go about it. They thought, like we all do, more is better, more penance, more tapas. And why to do tapas? Because every action, as we know, has a phala. Result of action will come with every action. Then what? How to do more tapas? Why to do more tapas? First of all, because I want some phala. What is it they wanted? They thought if they get lot of powers, they will be very happy. Why? Because they see in the world, the most powerful person is what? Seems to be happy, at least from the outside. Don't go to their house, that's all. When you see, then you will see all the problems. All the problems and sorrows you will see when you go and stay with them for a few days. Everybody stuck in one room, a whole house as big as a baseball field, and then what? And you're just lost in that place, and nobody is happy. Whether you're rich or poor, there is as long as there is spiritual poverty, the material richness will not take care of it, will never take care of it. They didn't know that. So what did they do? They were praying to Lord Shiva with the tapas, trying to please Lord Shiva to get more siddhis. Siddhi is for people without buddhi. Okay, yeah. If there is buddhi, wisdom, you will not go after what? Siddhi. Yeah. These people were ardent because they were confused. So they already had gained some siddhis. There are 8 in number. Laghima, siddhi, garima, siddhi. Laghima means you suddenly become very small, very useful. Hanumanji had this siddhi, and as he leapt over, India, go to Sri Lanka, in the middle of this leap, this horrible demoness came. And she said, hey, in the last life you promised that next life I could eat you. Come into my mouth. You have to keep your promise. And then what did Hanumanji do? He said, Laghima, where are you? Come here. And he became a small insect, went into her mouth. That's all he had promised. I will enter your mouth. Entered and exited also. And before she could clamp down her jaws, he exited. And then what? Like this. And then he also had the other siddhi called this Garima siddhi, meaning becoming big, 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 big. And he was caught when he went to Sri Lanka and produced before the king of Sri Lanka. What was his name? Yeah, these are all, ways to keep you engaged. Lest Nirvikalpa Samadhi set in. Okay, yeah. So, Ravana said, let's have fun with this monkey. We have heard how monkeys are restless and they jump around. Let's have fun. Let's have a fire show. Let us call the oil seller and let's get some rags, dip them in oil, and tie the tail of the monkey with these oil dipped rags. And I myself will what? Take a torch and light it on fire. Let's all have some fun today. The monkey from Ayodhya, the monkey from this, what is that? Kishkinda is the hero of our entertainment show. Watch, watch, everybody. So all the asuras started and sat down to watch. Aha, our king is so nice, giving us a nice show. And then Hanumanji invoked that Siddhi, which made him big, 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 and which made the tail long, 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 till it made it long, 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 till the oil sellers were longing for some freedom. And this is the first time in history they had oil shortage in Sri Lanka, because all the oil sellers said we can, and all the cloth sellers also ran out of cloth. The oil sellers ran out of oil, and only half of the tail, barely half, one third of the tail was able to be wrapped in oil things. And the king got impatient. Okay, okay, okay. Set it on fire. This much is enough. Doesn't matter. It'll be a short show, but doesn't matter. And we know, just to complete the story, we know what Hanumanji did. He just went and jumped from rooftop to rooftop with the burning tail. And then what? Setting the whole Lanka on fire. And then he went and dipped his tail in the Indian Ocean. Shh, nice. Upashamanam took place. But that is just to complete the story. That's not the story. The story is there are other siddhis like that. Telekinesis, the ability to move things from far away. People have this. They become, they become YouTube stars. They will sit there and go like this, and then this flask will move over there. Why? What for? What am I going to get by moving objects around? So boring. Really? Yeah. Well, I can, instead of concentrating and moving, I can simply go like this. Done. Why has God given me hands and legs? No, but this telekinesis, teleporting, and telepathy. Oh, this is the most boring one. That's why it's called telepathy, because it is telepathic. Okay? Yeah. Absolutely pathetic. Now, what is this telepathy? I can read your mind. I can read what you are thinking. Ooh, I can get that. Look into your own mind. All right, first. Do you like the thoughts you have most of the time? Huh? No. Boring thoughts. What should I do next? Is it time for tea break? Yeah. How long is this class? I think 1.5 hours is too much. And what is happening now? Oh, I know why I'm at this retreat, because I'm very well prepared, but that person doesn't seem to be very well prepared. Why has that person come? Because naturally, human mind, you look around and make judgments. These are the sum total of your thoughts. So if you go and read the mind of another person, they will also, the chances are that they will also have equally boring thoughts. If you can't stand your own boring thoughts, and it has brought you so far away to the ends of the earth in Mauritius for the retreat to be free from these boring thoughts, then why do you want, pray tell me, to look into the mind of another and look at their boring thoughts? Pathetic, really. So, and then there is also another siddhi where you can become, become anything that you want. We see this in the Puranas. The person is running, somebody is chasing after this fellow, and then suddenly he turns into Garuda and flies. Yeah, flies away. We don't need that right now, because we have James Bond movies. Same thing happens. It's a car, suddenly it becomes a plane. Yeah. We have James Bond movies. It's enough. We'll get our fix on that. So this is the siddhis are extremely boring. But then there is a penchant for siddhis. There is, and the modern version of the siddhis is more powerful. I want more power. I want more fame. I want more this thing, more recognition. I want everybody to clap. I want more approval from everybody. Wah, wah, taliyan, clap, clap, clap. I'm I'm the best, east or west. I want everybody to tell me that. That is why one thinks that this self-approval is based on this. That is why one goes everywhere and tries to do this. Accumulate power. In those days, the power was connected to Siddhis. In these days, power is connected to riches. Money, money, money. Power, house, huge, huge things. Name, fame, all these things. So those days, in the Darukavana, they kept on doing lot of tapas. Lord Shiva had pity for them, compassion for them. They are missing out on understanding that they are what they seek. What they seek, they already are. The wrong notion, out of the two contending notion, I am okay, one notion, which is there inside everybody. And the other notion, which is more on the surface, is what? I am not okay. Between them, one of them is Asat, the other one is Sat. You can't say that I am okay is Asat, because that's what I want to be. I am not okay is Asat, is wrong. Asat here means wrong, is wrong. And that wrong ideology, that wrong notion has to be removed. Just like the sun, which is as though coming under the spell of an eclipse and seeing the sky, of course, through safety glasses. What do we say? The sun is covered. Is the sun covered? No. Because of the sun, you even see the eclipse. Because of the sun, you see the eclipse. Otherwise, the eclipse will not even be there. The sun can never be covered. The sun is as though covered. So too, my friends, your sunny self can never be covered. Your sunny self is fine. Rahugrastha divakarendu sadrusho maya samachhadanat sanmatra karanopasamharanato yo bhut sushuptah puman. The person is sleeping under this veil of ignorance, just like the sun is as though covered by the eclipse. This is what the Dakshinamurti Stotram says. Very, 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 very beautiful. And then what? Then we have one more work that talks about this very beautifully. One of the Shishyas, the direct disciples of Adi Shankara, called Hastamalaka, who was very, very erudite, and he composed this Stotram Hastamalakiyam. He composed the Stotra. Ghanachanna drishtihi ghanachannam arkam manyate ati moodhaha. Moodhaha, deluded. Ati moodhaha, the totally deluded one. What does the totally deluded one do? The totally deluded one says, the sun is covered by clouds. The sun is not there. Where are the clouds? Right in front of the eyes. Ghanachanna drishtihi. The clouds of ignorance are covering the eyes, as it were, which makes me say the sun is covered. Sun is not covered. Similarly, the cloud of ignorance covers the vision of no division, which I want. Covers what I want to be, is what I already am. Covers this knowledge. And so therefore, this ajnanam has to be removed. That's what the sages also wanted. And the prayer of the students brought about the teacher in the form of Bhagavan, Lord Shiva. Even in the Buddhist, in the Zen Buddhism, we say, when you're ready, what? The teacher appears. In Vedanta, we say, when you're ready, the teacher disappears. Yeah, as you, in you. That is beauty of Vedanta. So then, Lord Shiva came, but not in his form. He took the form of a young monk and came. He took two forms simultaneously. Imagine how many siddhis he had. So he thought, if these sages want siddhis, let me show them the extent of these siddhis. He took two forms at once. One form he took was of a beautiful damsel, and he went, and then the other form was of a young monk. So first he took the form of a beautiful damsel and then danced in front of them, said, "Come on, boys," and all of them went behind him. Yeah. Yeah. Darukavana did not have beautiful visitors in the form of women very often, and they had been doing so much tapas, they had suppressed all their needs, and they just followed him. Not content with that, Lord Shiva also took the akara of a young, handsome monk, went to their homes where the wives were wondering where the husbands were, and said, "Ladies, what do you think? Give me bhiksha." And they said, "We are following you." And they all went away with him. Then finally, the people, they came to their senses. The damsel disappeared halfway out of the forest, and they came to their senses. "Oh my God, this was a trick. OMG. Let's go and, let's go back to our houses. This tapas is too much. It's making me hallucinate. Let's go back to the houses." They went back to their houses. No wives there. No consorts. And they said, "OMG, what has happened now?" And then they had already some powers. They said, "Oh, they are in the captivity of a young, handsome fellow. Let's go there." And then they huddled together just like before a football game. And then what did they say? They said, "We have to use all our siddhis together and manifest a huge." They saw this monk, they saw their wives feeding him and happily sitting with him. They got very jealous. They said, "This fellow has to be killed." They conjured up an elephant. Elephant came straight to the monk and then just dropped dead. And then what Lord Shiva did? Lord Shiva took the hide of the elephant and wore it like a veshti, like a dhoti. Then they said, "No, no, no. They need something more ferocious. Let us make a tiger." The tiger also met the same fate as the elephant, died. Then they said, "Let us send the most poisonous snake on earth." And then what did the Lord do? Used it as mala, necklace. Then they said, "Okay, we are out of our siddhis." Siddhis were fine till now. Now what are they? Finite. From fine to finite, it doesn't take too long. Siddhis are gone. Along with the siddhis gone, buddhi came back. Thank God. That's why I'm saying, where there is siddhi, no buddhi. Where there is no siddhi, buddhi comes back. Buddhi came back, the wisdom came back, and then what did they say? They said, "Whoever you are our teacher." They fell at his feet and they said, "Teach us." And that is how the teaching began. When? A long time ago. This teaching was taught. And then now we come back to the present day. Present day means not today, but present day means Ramana Maharshi's time. In Ramana Maharshi's time, we will see the story of his life also a little bit, but we will finish this story first. In Ramana Maharshi's time, because of his stature, his spiritual evolution, he attracted lot of sadhus to him. Erudite scholars came. So many people came. One of them was a celebrated Tamilian poet called Muruganar. Very wonderful poet. And then what did he do? He was composing this whole Shiva Mahima Stotra. He was composing to tell this story. He was doing that. When he came to this Upadesha, given by Shiva in the form of the young monk to the sages, he felt tied up. He had a writer's block, and he recognized that Ramana Maharshi is the best person to write this portion of his work. So he went there and asked Bhagavan Ramana to please write this portion of the work. And then Ramana Maharshi wrote this. This is one of the few things he has written continuously. Other things also he has written, but then there are different selections of verses, like Saddarshanam and all this. We'll see that later. But then he wrote this continuously, first in Tamil, and then by popular demand, he himself translated it to Sanskrit, and he also translated it to Telugu language. And then this is what is called Upadesha-Saram. Saram means what? A collection. Collection of Upadesha. Upadeshasya Saram, Upadesha-Saram. A collection means the essence of which. The essence of the whole thing is called Upadesha-Saram. Then we should talk a little bit about, before we get into the text, about who Ramana Maharshi was and his life story a little bit. India is a place of saints. Not that there are no saints in other places, but India recognizes and reveres her saints like no other country on earth. This is the Matrabhumi, the mothership of saints. So even though we say there are many saints in India, there are other saints also everywhere. We don't recognize them because the true saint will not ask for recognition. So in India, we celebrate saints, we are looking for saints, we are hungry and thirsty for saints. This is a saintly culture because we want to be that saint that we worship. And in fact, that is the goal of life according to the Upanishad. A saint is something you become, you grow into. A saint is not something which after one dies, the Vatican or some other thing, digs up the body and then puts one stamp and gives, this is the saint. No, we don't need any other power. We don't have Vatican. We don't have any other power that is declaring us a saint. We ourselves grow into one, and it's the mandatory life journey of each and every jiva to grow from being a complaining, wanting person to a saintly person. And we recognize this in India, in the motherland. And what do? We want to be saintly, and we think we can do that by observing the saints, by serving the saints, by sitting near the saints and learning from the saints. And this is how Ramana Maharshi also was a very saintly person. He had a normal childhood except for one particular horrifying experience that he described in his teenage. He had this terrible fear of death. He thought he was going to die. And then what did he do? He just writhed in agony, thought he was going to die. He was just very upset with himself. And then he thought, this is the end of me. I'm not going to survive this. He was sweating. He was having a panic attack. But then it passed away. But then usually people would have said, let me go to the pharmacy and get something so that this doesn't happen again. Or let me go to the therapist. But what did he say? Let me sit and observe this experience. Let me relive it with my buddhi to see what I can conclude from this anxiety. The anxiety became his first guru, really, because everything is a guru. If you read Datta Charitra, Dattatraya's life story, he had so many gurus. The tree was the guru, the child was the guru, everybody who came to him and everyone who he encountered was a guru. If we have that attitude, this will be there. So the anxiety for Ramana Maharshi became his guru, and he said, okay, he analyzed the anxiety. Fear of death means what? What is dying? Is the body dying? Yes. Don't say no. Body is dying. Okay, yeah. Body is dying. Is the mind dying? What do you mean mind is dying? It's already dead. Okay, yeah. The only thing you can say about the mind is what? Never mind. Okay, mind is already gone. Are the senses dying? Yes. That's why I need glasses. That's why I need everything. Hearing aid, seeing aid, everything. Upanetram, upashrotram, all these things I need. Senses are dying, body is dying, mind is dying. What about the eye? Am I dying? If I was subject to death, I cannot observe all the things that are dying. If I can observe all the things that are dying, that means what? I am free of death. He came to this understanding, and then he had no interest in school, and somehow he finished high school, no interest in college. He was just going, coming, just leading his life. And he had an elder brother, and the elder brother was concerned he is not studying. And a non-studying child at home in India is a great source of concern for the family members. So he chided the younger brother to bring him back to his senses. He said, hey, if this is your attitude, you're not interested in food, you're not interested in clothes, you're not interested in college, you're not interested in your education, then why are you living at home? Perhaps you should go to the forest. He said, you know what? Thank you. Anna, brother, thank you. You have opened my eyes. That's exactly what I should do. And he left. His brother said, no, come back. He left. Yeah. The mother gave him some money to get. She said, guests are coming. Go buy something from the market to, some snacks. He took the money and went. Yeah. He just left. And then he had heard in his childhood that this Tiruvannamalai is a place of spiritual refuge, where the mountain itself is Lord Shiva. You don't even have to go to the temple. The mountain itself is Lord Shiva. Arunachala is called the name of the mountain. And every December 14th, they light a lamp on the top of the mountain to signify the rise in knowledge. They light a lamp on top of the mountain. And so he just went there. And then he said, I'm just going to stay here. And then he just shaved his head. And then what? Cut off his sacred thread. And then took off all his clothes. And the temple priest, who was seeing all this, said to him, you know what? For the sake of the society, please at least wear one loin cloth. Gave him a langoti. He said, all right. He didn't care either way. And he came out. Then, people said, oh, he has done some kind of a self-sannyasa, but he forgot to take bath. Then it's not a proper sannyasa. Suddenly, even though there was no cloud in the sky, it started to rain. And that was his bath. That was his ritual bath of leaving the world behind and starting on this life. And he just meditated, asked the most famous question, who am I? More about that we will see later. But this was his question, who am I? And of course, this meditation, this contemplation on the contemplative question, who I am, works already when you know something. If you don't know anything and ask, who am I? Who will answer? The knowledgeable one or the ignorant one? Who will answer? The ignorant one will answer. Who am I? Idiot. That's the answer will come. Good for nothing. Nobody loves me. This is the answer that will come. So therefore, this who am I, we'll have to see in detail. But this was his famous catchphrase. He's known by the catchphrase of looking into the source of the I that is imperishable and infinite. This is who the teaching is for the ones who want to know the nature of this I. And then his mother arrived to Tiruvannamalai and said, with the hope of bringing him back. But she became his shishya, stayed there, and in fact gave up her life there also, stayed with him for 22 years. Amazing, And so, like this, an ashram grew, a whole system of worship grew, everything grew around him. And then finally he passed away from cancer in the 70s and wrote a few things. Saddarshanam attributed to him. Some verses somebody else wrote, some other scholars wrote, but most of it is his work, Saddarshanam. And then what else? And then he collected very brilliant set of 40 verses from the Bhagavad Gita, and it is known as Ramana Gita. If you study these 40 verses, then you don't need anything at all. Some other retreat, we should do that. You should study that. It's really, really nice. It's like the summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita in 40 verses. Very, very beautiful. And so then, this is his life story, and this is the story of Upadesha-Saram. So now, without much ado, let us chant the first two verses. तर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम् कर्म किं परं कर्म तज्जडम् प्रीतिमहो दधौ पतनकारणम् फलमशाश्वतं गतिनिरोधकम्. Very nice tune and meter. Meter is called Vainasa meter. Vainasa meter. I couldn't find anything else about the meter, but it is, it is the Guru, Laghu, Guru, Laghu, Guru. That's the meter. Very beautiful meter. Sorry? I can't hear you. Vainasa. Yeah. So, this is the meter. And then the first teaching is to look deeply into our actions. Karma. All the things we are doing to get whatever we think we want. We want fame, we want name, we want happiness, we want security, we want everybody to approve of us, we want ourselves to approve of ourselves. All these desires are there for whom? Are there for what? That is the first thing to look into, is that in the gamut of this desire fulfillment, how are you planning to fulfill these desires? The answer is simple. Through action. That's what first comes. I'm going to act and I'm going to fulfill the desire. Because I want this. That's what I see on the surface is my want, and I'm wanting this. And what am I wanting? I'm wanting to fulfill this desire. So I have to go and then pursue this desire and get what I want, because what I want is far away from me. There's only one problem with this. If anybody here has tried to fulfill any desire, you know very well how difficult it is to even fulfill a single desire, let alone a whole gamut of desires. Try fulfilling even a single desire, the result is ayasa. Ayasa means what? Exhaustion. That is the result. I'm exhausted. Why? Because I put so much effort and the results are not coming. I work hard and the neighbor gets the promotion. My co-worker gets the promotion. I bought the lottery ticket. And then what happened? In the dream, okay, yeah, not in real life. And then, in the dream, all the numbers matched. $1 million I got, millions of dollars. Then I said, oh, I have to take the ticket. This is all happening in the dream. I have to take the ticket to the place where they declare, and then I am the winner. So I'm running in the dream with my ticket in hand. A gust of wind blows the ticket and it goes and lands in a beggar's bowl, unbeknownst to me. Otherwise, I would have bashed up the beggar also. No shame I have. But it landed in the bowl of the beggar. The beggar said, what is this? What came? Aha, not the ticket. Even in the dream, I don't have good karma enough to enjoy getting dream money also. So then this is the situation in my life. So, therefore, anybody who has tried to fulfill any desires knows how difficult it is to fulfill the desire. And so, therefore, we know that there is something wrong between the action that I put out to fulfill the desire and the result seems to be coming. There's no connection. But still, I persist doing the action, hoping for a better outlook next time. What do you tell the person who is expecting the same result each time by doing the same action when the result is not coming? Ati moodha, totally deluded. It's like putting the square peg in a round hole. The hole is round, but the block I have in my hand is what? Square shape. Oh, maybe I should try here. Maybe I should try there. No, no, no. Use the round one. No. I am the all-rounder. Let me do this. This is the person's problem. And then all we need to do is walk a little bit over to the Bhagavad Gita, and there we will see the most famous verse of the Bhagavad Gita. What is that? You are in charge of the action, not of the results thereof. Bhagavan, Lord Krishna says that very clear. You are in charge of the actions, no problem. You are a karta. You think you are a karta, you are the doer, you do many things, no problem at all, but then you are not in charge of the result of actions. The result of actions are given by the real karta, not the so-called karta. The results of actions don't come from you. Karmani eva adhikarahate ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phala hetur bhuhu ma te sangostu akarmani. Karmani eva adhikarahate. You have only you have only a say over the action, not the result. Ayyo, what have I been doing till now? Trying to produce the result when the results are not in my hand at all. Not at all in my hand. Why? Because I can control the known variables. I can make sure that I am first for the interview. I can make sure that the car is serviceable. I can make sure that I don't have a flat tire. I can make sure to go on time. I can make sure to do research about the company where I'm having the interview and be very well informed. But then there are many, many, many hidden variables. I made it to the place. Wonderful. I parked the car. Fantastic. All I have to do is cross the road and there is the company. Here is the rub. Crossing the road like a good citizen, I look to the left, I look to the right, nothing. But this is Indian road. Then what happened? Somebody had thrown banana peel. Yeah. Saw it too late, had an instant skating lesson, and then what? Fainted. Some good Samaritan took me to the hospital where I woke up asking fundamental spiritual questions. Who am I? Where am I? What for am here? Hidden variable is in the form of banana peel. That is not very appealing, okay? But this is this is where we are. This is what the problem is. We don't control the results of action. We only control action. This class is ending on a downer note, very depressing note. So should I not act at all? Should I just retire right now? Because what's the point? What's the point? This seems very unfair. I have all these desires and I'm not in charge of pursuing any one of them. What are you saying? What should I do? Where to go from here? We'll see in the next session. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम. So we have to few